Welcome to another video. This is one of those integrals that you would, as a calculus student, attempt to integrate, but at the end of it, you'll find out you can't do it because it is not an elementary function. So whatever integration techniques you know would just not work, you will have to bring in the error function. And not just the error function, the imaginary error function. Because no matter how hard, how much you try, you just have to know what to do, otherwise you're going to be stuck. Okay, now we're going to try the basic calculus 2 technique of integration by parts here. That's how we start. And at the end, the error function comes in. Let's get into the video. So let's do integration by parts. Now, the best thing to choose is to take part of this x squared, attach it to e to the x squared, and do u substitution, and then take the other x and do, and then at the end of the day, you're going to differentiate one and integrate one. I might use the t table just to make things faster. So we're going to say that this is equal to the integral. This is going to be, let's write it as x times x e to the x squared dx. So you see the way I split it? It means I am going to be differentiating this and integrating this. So I'm going to say so integration by parts. Let's write it integration by parts. So I'm going to say that my u is equal to x, so that du will be equal to dx. That's done. And I'm going to say that my dv is equal to xe to the x squared. So I'm not using the table this time. And I know that v is going to be, I'm going to integrate this. Okay, how do we integrate this? This is where we have to do the u substitution. So if we do the u substitution, we're going to say, so we're integrating xe to the x squared. We want to integrate this. So this is dx. And then I'm trying to find my v. Okay, let's write v here. V will be equal to whatever we get here. So now we're going to say let u be x squared. So we say let u, no, not this u. Okay, let me use t then. Let t be equal to x squared, so that I have dt equals 2x dx, which means 1/2. This implies that 1/2 dt is equal to x dx. So this integral here can become the integral of, you see this? I can rewrite this as the integral of e to the x squared times x dx. So now I've gotten my x dx isolated here. I'll replace it with half dt. So this is 1/2 dt. And we said that e to the x squared, we said x squared is t. So this would be e to the t. And now this integral, I can pull this 1/2 to the back. So you have 1/2 of the integral of e to the t dt. And if you integrate e to the t, it's just e to the t. That's 1/2 of e to the t. We're not going to do plus c because we're doing integration by parts. We're not at the very end of all the c's. So this is just our answer, 1/2 e to the t. But remember, we said t is equal to x squared. So the integral is basically 1/2 of e to the x squared. So if we go back here, we can write 1/2 of e to the x squared. Okay, now we're ready to write the answer for our integration by parts. So we can now say that by integration by parts, what we have here will be the integral of x squared e to the x squared dx is equal to uv, which is this times this, that's going to be half x e to the x squared minus the integral of v du, which is just this, half, e to the x squared du is dx. Okay, it looks like we're going back to the beginning. It's just that now we don't have any x or x squared beside the e to the x. And this is that impossible integral. In fact, this integral is harder to compute than the Gaussian integral because we know the answer to the Gaussian integral. But we don't know how to integrate this because there is no minus here. And that's where the work is. Okay, let's get rid of this. If you never got a chance to see my video on the Gaussian integral, how I computed it, I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video. This is what the video looks like, the thumbnail looks like. Just look for it, watch it, and enjoy yourself. But now we are stuck with this guy. We're almost there, it's just that this integral is the hard part of our answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the solution on top, and then we'll ultimately come back and see what we have. So we know that this integral here is x squared e to the x squared will be equal to 1/2 of x e to the x squared minus something. That something is all I'm waiting for now. And that's just this integral. So let's work on this integral. You see, we're looking for the integral of, let me pull the 1/2 to the back here. So we'll pull this 1/2 to the back here. We're just looking for e to the x squared dx. Now, I don't know how to do this. But one thing I know is the error function. Now you have to, once you get to this point, you have to know the error function. This is the error function. The error function. This is what it clearly says, that the error function of any value you're computing, the error function of x, is equal to 2 divided by the square root of pi multiplied by the integral from 0 to x of e to the negative t squared dt. This is the Gaussian error function. And this is only useful when x is real. And when x is real, there has to be a minus here. If there is no minus here, then x is not real, x is imaginary. So the only way we can take this integral or evaluate this integral using the error function is if we acknowledge that x is not real. And when x is not real, we can replace all the x's that we see here with imaginary x. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this x to an imaginary one. I'm going to change this x to an imaginary one, and then whatever we get will not be the real error function, it will be the imaginary error function. That's the simple transition between the real error function and the imaginary one, just because this guy is positive right here. Okay, so how do we do that? I am going to just say the error function of an imaginary x. So this implies, because of this, this implies that x is imaginary. It's not defined for the error function, which is for real numbers. So what we're going to do is replace this with put I here, put I here. So I'm going to write this error function as ix, and I'm going to write this as ix. So now, because this guy is stuck, I'm going to take the derivative of both sides. Now remember, taking the derivative of both sides with respect to x, it's from your fundamental theorem of calculus. Remember, if you take the derivative of an integral, all you have to do is use this to replace the t and then multiply by the derivative of this function as long as this is a constant. FTC 1 and 2. Remember that. Okay, so what we're going to do is If I take the derivative of this, watch this, d dx of this error function will be the derivative of this side also. So if I take the derivative of this, d dx of this side, I'm going to let this be. I'm just going to work on this side. What I'm going to end up having is, because this is a constant, it stays 2 over the square root of pi. But when you differentiate an integral, what you do by FTC 1 and 2 is you put this negative x, you use it to replace t, and see what happens. It's going to become minus negative x squared. That's what this e is going to be. You're going to end up with e to the, let's see what this becomes. Sorry, negative ix. So if you square ix, you're going to get negative x squared. So negative x squared gives you positive x squared. So we can come here and say this is x squared. But you have to multiply by the derivative of this. The derivative of ix is I, just like the derivative of 2x is 2. So we're going to multiply this by I. Instead of putting the I here, I can put it here. And that is the derivative of this error function of imaginary x. So I'm going to rewrite this. We know now that the derivative d dx of the error function of imaginary x is this guy. And now we have this guy right here. You see how easy this is? This is so sweet. Now I can multiply both sides by dx so that my dx can come back here and it will cancel out this dx so that what I have here is just d. So d of the error function of imaginary x is what we have here. And remember what we're looking for. We're looking for e to the x squared dx. I have it, e to the x squared dx. I can move this over to this side and see what happens. If I now go back here, if I want to leave just this on this side, I can divide both sides by this, so I can say that what I have here is actually pi, square root of pi, over 2i multiplied by d, the derivative, or the differential rather, of the error function of imaginary x. That's it. Let's clean this up. I know it looks a bit crazy, but that's what you get when you get to this level of math. Here we go. Now let's integrate. Remember, that's all we want to do. Just integrate this guy. Well, the half is on the side. We're going to deal with the half. Let me put the 1/2 on the outside, because what we're dealing with is just e to the x dx, the integral. So now I am going to integrate both sides. If I integrate this, well, I don't know what the answer is, but my answer is here. This is a constant. And by the way, this I can rationalize and multiply the top by I and multiply the bottom by I. I'll end up with the square root of pi over -2, right? So, and there's going to be an I on top. So I can put the I here, put 2 here, and there's going to be a negative, put a negative here. Okay, it's fine. And then I have this integral of d, the error function of ix. So now what do we get? So smooth. Remember, the integral of a differential is just that expression that you had inside. So what do we have here? See, let me just make it clear from here. This is going to be the square root of pi over 2 multiplied by -I, the error function of imaginary x. Okay, let me put this in a box because it has a special name. -I times the error function of imaginary x is what you call the imaginary error function, which is the Erfi or Erfi. Okay, always has an I after it, but you're going to have it to be x. Okay, so we can clearly now say that the integral of e to the x squared dx is equal to the square root of pi over 2 multiplied by the imaginary error function of x. That's it. Where this imaginary error function of x is the same thing as negative I error function of imaginary x. This is this. And that's it. So we can go back to our answer. Since we're going to be multiplying this by 1/2, our answer can ultimately be square root of pi over 4 error function imaginary of x. And this is the integral of this. That's why you don't see it often, because it takes all this madness to go through and you get it. Never stop learning, because those who stop learning stop living. Bye-bye.